In first two attempts I could not clear the exam. Brief intro about myself. I am Sagar Damania. Right. I am a senior research scholar at IIT Kharagpur, and I have done my integrated BSMS in geological sciences from IISER Kolkata, and that is where I have met Harshvardhan. We had worked together on Chicken Himalayas for our master's thesis, and ever since I have been in touch with him, and he tells me a lot of things about you guys, how he enjoys teaching. Right. Yeah, currently I'm working on the Ladakh Himalayas. I'm trying to understand the India-Asia coalition. That's my research topic. These are some of the photographs from Ladakh that I've taken, as you will see. Right, and so today Harsh told me that we were discussing other day about how to give him exams and what kind of strategies that I have used in clearing my net examination. So if I tell you a bit history about how I cleared net examination, so I had given total three attempts, and in first two attempts I could not clear the exam, and in the third attempt I could clear it as well as I could get All India rank 3. That was in June 2015, and after that they also called me for the SPMF interview, and I was lucky enough to clear it. Right. So I was talking to Harsh about what was my experience, how I cleared it, and what are the things that helped me. And he told, okay, this is fascinating. Why don't you talk to the students and share the knowledge, and maybe it can help them as well. I said, okay, fine, yeah. So okay, my video feed was not on. As it seemed. Now it's on. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, by the way, in this talk, if anyone has any question at any point of time, please feel free to ask. Okay, this is going to be a very, very informal kind of session, so don't worry about it. Okay, if you have any questions, just shoot. Okay, yeah. So let's start from the very basic. When we talk about the score, we understand that it is equivalent to knowledge. The more knowledge you have, more will be a score, which is true. If you have proper knowledge, if you have a good conceptual understanding, that is what you are trying to develop. That's why you join the coaching classes, geology concepts. You want to work hard and you want to develop concepts and you want to gain knowledge. That is true. If you have good knowledge, you will get good score. But in my experience, that is only the partial truth. See, if the examiner wanted to test only a knowledge, they wouldn't have given you just 3 hours. They would have said, okay, go for maybe 5 hours or 6 hours, and things would have been much more easier for you. Or they would not have given you 50, 65 questions in 3 hours. They would have said go and do 20 questions in 3 hours. But that's not the case. So when you give an exam and when you come back after giving an exam, if you just look at the questions, you will see that about 70 to 80% of the questions you could have done if you had more time. But just because the time was limited, you could not do it. So time is a very big factor, which means that you have to be efficient in terms of translating your knowledge into score. So the other factor that comes into play is being efficient. So you have to be very, very efficient because the time is limited. Now the thing is, even that requires hard work, strategy, and practice. It's not some God-given entity. If you want to become more and more efficient, you will need to do some hard work. So I just give you an example of how this applies in real life. Okay, so in the first attempt of net that I gave, I got 76. The total marks is 200, so I got 76 out of that. So my score was 38%, which was a decent score, but it was not good enough for me to get a JRF. Okay, so but when I came back and I saw the after the examination, when I came back and I thought, okay, I could have got 160 marks out of this. From what I know, if I would have been given 1 day or 2 day, easily I could have solved and I could have got 160 marks. But the thing is, I could not get it. Why? Because out of the 160 marks that I knew, I could do only 76. So rest, either I uh, attempted the question and I got it wrong, or worse than that, I could not attempt the questions that I knew because the time was limited. So if I calculate my efficiency, that I knew 160 marks, but I could score only 76. So my efficiency would be 48% over there. Now let me compare that to the third attempt where I could clear it. When I came back, yes, Suman says, sir, please do some discussion on gate. Yes, I will discuss on gate as well. Okay, and I am going to discuss about it. So just be patient. I'll discuss it. Is that fine? Yeah. So in that I got 85%. When I came back, I saw that I could do 85% of the questions. But the difference was that my efficiency was very good at that time. In that examination, out of the 176, I could get 126. So my total marks was 126 out of 200, which roughly translates to 63%. So there I was doing something right in terms of efficiency. Obviously, my knowledge was also more, but it was just 5% more. But if you look at the efficiency difference, it is so in one examination I had 48%, in another I had 74%. So that's a big difference, right? So now the question comes that can one improve the efficiency? And if yes, then how? So that is what we are going to discuss. That how we are going to improve the efficiency and the strategies that I have used. And if it works for you, it will work for you. So I'm just going to lay out the basic background of the examination of the CSR gate, CSR, not the gate examination. So if you look at that examination, you have total 100 marks and you have 3 hours. So you have 180 minutes, right? So that would translate to 10 marks in 18 minutes or 1.8 minutes per mark, right? So if you see the basic layout of the question, these will be the number of questions. So the first section will have 5 questions that will carry 1 marking. The second will have 5 questions and that will have 2 marks. Then you will have 25 questions which will carry 1 marking. Then you have 30 questions which will carry 2 marks. So this will be the total marks per section. And by using this 1.8 1 minute 48 seconds per mark, you can get this time. So for first section you will have 9 minutes, for the second section you will have 18 minutes, for the other section you will have 45 minutes, and for the 38 question 30 marks, the 30 questions which carry 2 marks, you will have 108 minutes. But in this I have given a range 8 to 10 minutes, which means that you should try to complete it within 8 minutes. And even if you are stuck, you don't overshoot 10 minutes at all. Okay. Why you need to do it within 8 minutes is that you don't know the other section. Maybe it will be easier. So if you save some time over here, you can give some time in the other sections which might be easier, more scoring. And our whole focus is to get score, right? So try to complete it in the lower limit. In the end, you will save some time So you can go and some questions, there will be some questions which you will have left out, so you can go and attempt them. So how do you save time? So the trick to save time is that you don't attempt all the questions. You choose to attempt the question you want to attempt. Okay. You see which questions will take less time and you will do that. And if there are some questions that are taking more time, you should not become egoistic. You should just leave it at that, and you should go to the other question. Okay. See, whenever you choose a question to answer a question, you are simultaneously you are also choosing what not to answer. Okay. So make that choice very properly. Make judicious use of time. And if you have some time left, I'm sure you will have some time left when, if you follow the scheme, if you stick to the lower limits, then you will have an option to choose to revise. Right? If you save some 5-10 minutes or 20 minutes in the end, you can choose which questions you want to revise or which questions you want to attempt. That is very important. Okay. So does anyone have any questions in this? In the time management part, I'm going to the next part as well. So if you have any questions, you can ask over here. Yeah, please go on, Ishita. See, the thing over here is this time management scheme. You can just theoretically you can say, but I am going to give you some exercises where you can actually practice it, and this will become your habit. Okay. You can hear all theoretical knowledge you can hear from anywhere else also, but okay. But the thing is, you have to practice it, and I am going to tell you how to practice it. Okay, so it is, I said, sir, I take around 2 hours to complete the entire test, but my efficiency is not happening. Okay, so Ishita, for you, I'm going to come to this efficiency part. There is second part to this as well. So one is this time management. Yes, Shivashis is asking, sir, I'm a bit weak in aptitude. Should I leave it for the last? Yes, you should leave it for the last. If you are going to, if any part, for you it is aptitude, for some other person it could be numericals, let's say. Okay, so in that sense, if something is taking more time, don't devote that time. You can leave it for the end, because the moment you devote more time to something, you are at the same time you are also choosing to leave something else, right? So don't do that. Just leave it for the time being, and if the time permits in the end, you can come to that in the end, right? So one is asking, sir, during revision we sometimes choose wrong option after clearing right options. Suman, that happens. It's not unique to any one person. It happens to everybody of us. Like I told you that even when I give examination, or anybody gives examination, there will be some negative marks. But that's a very good question, because that is something that I'm going to talk about next. How to avoid negative marking. Okay. So we'll move forward. Now is the thing which Suman you are asking. This will be very pertaining to you. Your question, which is taking calculated risks. So what do I mean by that? So see, whenever you are taking an examination, when you are trying to answer a question, you cannot be 100% confident in answering all the questions. Otherwise, everybody would have got 95, 100 marks in GATE examination, which is not the history. If you look at the scores, past scores, that is not how people get scores. So for every question, you cannot be 100% sure. So for some question, you will be 90 to 100% sure. So when you're attempting those questions, you should, let's say if, when I gave it was offline paper, so I used to mark a tick, okay, and I'll just tell you why this is important. Another thing is, if you are, let's say you are 90 to 50% sure, you put a tick and you put a question mark, okay. If you are 50 to 10% sure, you put a circle, and if you're not sure at all, what should be the answer, then you should put a cross, and the intelligent thing to do is you should not try to attempt it, because you attempt it or a chimpanzee attempts it, it's the same thing. For that particular question, you don't know anything. Even a chimpanzee wouldn't know anything, right? It's just a choice between banana number one, banana number two, or banana number three, or banana number four. So just a chimpanzee would pick any banana. I would also pick any options for that question. So it's better not to answer that. Leave it. Okay. Rahul Das is saying, sir, according to my experience, I have found difference between attempting more question and scoring more marks. Will you comment on that? Yes, yes, definitely. I'm coming to that. That so first, this is the basic structure. Whenever you attempt questions, you should mark this. Okay. So, how do you actually practice this, and why is it important? So whenever you are practicing, whenever you are in your free time, also you are doing some questions. Let's say you are doing 10 questions and they carry 1 mark each. So you set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay. So you start a stopwatch and you start doing it. So let's say, and that is very strict. You don't give yourself more than 10 minutes for 10 questions which carry 1 mark each. So let's say you start the examination or you start the self-evaluation for 10 marks and you attempt the first question. You are 90 to 100% sure that the answer is A, so you mark A. Okay. For second question, you find that it's not that you are not very sure, maybe less than 50% surety. So, and or you see that it is also lengthy, so you leave it. Okay. And you see the timer is also running over here. The third question you don't know, so you leave it. And the fourth question, you get the answer, put it. For fifth, you know it, so you put the answer. For sixth, you don't know, so you leave it. Okay. Questions that you don't know, you should leave it. For seventh one, you know the answer somehow, but you are also a bit confused, so you put a question mark as well. But anyways, you tick B and you move on. Okay. Then you go to the eighth question and you find that okay, this is something that you may know, but it will take more time, so you leave it for the time being. Okay. Then you move to the next question. Now you get to the ninth question and you put the answer A, the B. Okay. Now you see the 10th question and maybe you find that it is not very easy. So now you have already completed 7 minutes 30 seconds or something. So what do you do next now? Which question should you go to next? Should you go to because now you have 2, 3, 6 and 8. So Deepak says 8, yeah. So now you should go to 8. You should not go chronologically to 2 or 3, because your chance of scoring in 2 or 3 is very less. You know the 8th question, so you go to that one. And you go to that question and you solve it, and you take some time and you solve it. Okay. Now you see that 8 minutes 32 seconds has already gone. So what do? You first put it in your, wherever, if you are going to take it, you put the OMR, if it's an offline exam, or if it is an online exam, you just see that all the answers are correct. Yeah? So you check it real quick. So if you check that real quick, Kamya says, sir, I am getting around 35 in mock. Will I be able to qualify? Well, Kamya, if 35 marks It's not a bad score, but it's not a very good score as well. I would say aim for 60 plus. That's a good score. You may get 60 plus, you may not get 60 plus, but that is where you should aim. Anyways, I'll discuss this and I'll come back to that part, Kamya. Is it alright? Okay. Yeah. So now you have marked this question, this answers for sure. You have already completed 9 minutes. Now you have some time. So next, what should I do? Which question should I go for? 2 or 10? Yes, that's right. So whichever checks, Subhash is saying check 7. Yes, that is also what you should do. You should also check 7. That whether if you have some time, you can check 7 as well. And after checking 7, you should, for the next question, you should go for 2 or 10. And you make a choice which will take lesser amount of time. It's not that you have to go chronologically or you have to do something like that. You can just choose between them, which will take less amount of time. And let's say you see and you get some time and you take a minute and you decide upon the second question and you get answer A. This is okay. You mark it in your answer sheet because the time is very less. And now you have 20 seconds remaining, then you go for the 10th question. Right? That's the logical choice. So then if you go for the 10th question, maybe the 10 minutes are up, you cannot complete. That's fine. Now is the very important thing. And I guess Rahul Das was asking me, so this part will be very, very pertinent to your question. Now you develop a scorecard. Right? So now you see that if you answered only the 100% intelligent guess questions, okay, you see it in the answer sheet that okay, I will get 4 marks. Okay, if you get all of them right. Then you check the 100% guess question and the 90 to 50% intelligent guess question, and then you see how much mark would I have got if I have answered both of them. Then you see, okay, 4 plus 2, I've got both of them right, so you would have got 6 marks out of 10. Then you see if I would have answered the 50 to 10% intelligent guess question, let's say you get it wrong, so you will get 133 is the negative mark, so you will get, if that's the negative mark, then you will just go to the 5.6. And you have chose not to answer 3 and 6, which is the logical choice. You should not answer those questions if you don't know it at all. And if you don't, so you have not attempted those questions, so you are getting 5.6. So that will be a score. Now you can assess yourself. That a particular topic, let's say you are revising the questions for paleontology. Okay. Now you should assess yourself that in paleontology, when I am 90 to 100% sure about some answer, then likely I may get it right. If even for 50 to 90% of guess, intelligent guess, I am getting it right. So in examination, I should make it a habit. If it's a paleontology question and if I am more than 50% sure, so I should attempt. But if it is a 50 to 10% intelligent guess, maybe I should not attempt it. Now this is not, you should not do this only for based on one test. You should test yourself multiple times, and in that you will see how much of the 50% guesses I am getting right, how much of the 90% of guesses I am getting right. In some topics it will be that you are more than 50% sure, you are less than 90% sure, maybe you are getting it wrong. Okay, so what you think about yourself, as you know, my guesses are very good, maybe they are not good when you see it in real. So that is how you have to assess yourself, and you have to assess yourself multiple times in all the topics. Okay, so for all the topics you should see this, that you, whenever you do some questions, see this is a very important thing. Whenever you are doing some questions, don't do it just without in the examination. Always be in the examination mode. You are doing 10 questions, take 10 minutes and solve it. You don't need to sit for 3 hours for any practice. But even if you are doing 10 questions, you take only 10 minutes. Or if it's a 2 mark question, you take only 20 minutes. Right? Rahul Das, yes, if you have any questions. So that's a very important thing. Always be in that mood. And once you completed that, then when you're checking your concepts and all, then you can take more time. That is fine. What you're doing wrong, what you're doing correct, that you can evaluate afterwards. But in the first attempt, you should always and always take the appropriate amount of time only. Because let's say you are solving some questions from isotope geology. You like isotope geology and you are solving some question. Okay. It's a numerical question. You solve it. But if it is a 2 mark question, and you have 2 marks, 2 minutes for it, and if you are taking, let's say 5 minutes for that, well, that's not a wise choice then. Even if you know the answer, it's not a wise choice. So it would be better if you can answer that questions. If you just by reading the question, you can estimate how much time it is going to take, and you have to choose to do it in the end. Because if you choose to do that question, you simultaneously you are also choosing to leave the questions which you might know, which might be very very theoretical questions. You can do it very easily. So don't do that. This is not a test only for knowledge. This is a test for translating your knowledge, how efficiently you can translate your knowledge into score. Rahul Das, sir, should we assign time section in exam? If yes, how much time in average? Yes, I talked about that how much time we should assign. So for the coming gate examination, this is how much time you should allot. So for the first section, which has 5 questions, they carry 1 mark each. So total will be 5 marks. So this should be the time, 9 minutes on an average. But I would say try to complete it within 8 minutes. Because let's say aptitude is taking more time. Maybe the questions in the other section, let's say in the third section that we have over here, maybe that will be very very easy. So instead of devoting 2 minutes on one question over here, maybe you can devote 2 minutes on two questions over here in the third, and you will be better off. Okay, so always stick to these time limits. uh, does that answer the question, Rahul? Okay, so does anybody else has a question? Kamya. Okay, Kamya, so you're getting around 35 marks. Will I be able to qualify? So Kamya, can you? Okay, and Jayprakash also has a question. Do we have cutoff for each section? No, it's not like that. You do not have cutoff for each section. Uh, the cutoff is for the entire thing, so you should not worry about that. Yes, Kamya, you're getting 35 marks. Will I be able to qualify? You might be able to qualify. I think 35 is a decent score. But can you elaborate on why you are not able to getting more marks? See, there can be only 3 reasons of not getting more marks, according to me. So what is the reason that you think? The mock don't represent previous year's papers so much. Okay, that is fine, but can you tell me why you are not able to get more marks? Uh, what is lacking? Someone is saying, sir, should we invest time in total unsure questions? MCQ questions and attempt those. Okay, I can answer that. And Kamya is saying, I think maybe I am attempting more questions in less time. Okay. So I'll answer both of those questions. First is Suman's question, which is totally unsure MCQ question should I attempt? So I think you're, if I'm right, Suman, you're talking about totally unsure means you don't know the answer. So in other words, chimpanzees, right? You are not sure about it, and you are 0% sure, or you are somewhat sure about it. I'm talking about MS. Okay. Suman, what are the MSQs? Can you just elaborate? Maybe I'm not familiar with the gate pattern. Okay, multiple select questions. Okay, all right. See, my take is that MSQ does not do not have a negative mark, is it? And MCQ has a negative mark. See, understand this. Okay, this. Let's talk about the MCQ questions. If you try to answer them, you might get negative marks. And the pattern is such that if you make all the random choices, you may get some right and you may get most of them wrong. So for MCQ questions, there's the negative mark in such a way that you will get 0 marks. But for MSQs, that is multiple select questions, if there is no negative marking, I would say just go for them. There's no negative marking, just go for them. But the only thing that you have to lose over there is your time. So if you can invest time, if you have some time left, just go for the MSQ questions. They have no negative marking. Try, even if it is a non-intelligent guess, just think about something and mark it. MSQ question, no problem at all. But just see to it that you are not uh, consuming time, more time in it, and you do not uh, leave out the questions that you might know. That's it. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So Kamya, your question again. Where is it? And Moinak also has one question. Okay. So Kamya, you are attempting more questions in less time. So yeah, if you are attempting more questions in less time and you are getting negative marks, maybe you should follow this pattern scorecard, and I think this will help you. So whenever you're doing questions, you follow this pattern and you see in what categories of question am I getting wrong. Is it the 50% intelligent guess category, or is it 90 to 50% intelligent guess category? If that is the problem, you assess yourself. Let's say in your case, just an example, if you're getting most of the questions in intelligent guess wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just a second. Hello. Okay. Sorry about that. So, if you are getting most of the questions wrong in this category, you should make it a strategy to leave them because it is doing more harm to you. Right? Let's say in some topics, there will be topics in which even the 90 to 50% intelligence guess would not work. In those cases, don't go for it. But there will be some topics, I'm sure, in which even 90 to 50% intelligent guess questions would fetch good marks for you. Then you should go for that. So it depends upon which topics it is, what type of question it is, and that depends upon the individual. The key thing is assessment. If you assess yourself properly, you will know yourself better. That is what is the best thing about this. Okay? This is assessing yourself. Okay. Prakash, Kamya, I hope that answers your question. And Prakash Tiwari says, sir, in exams and even in mocks too, I usually get marks in factual or straightforward questions, but in case of numerical, I am usually it's like being nil or frozen after seeing the question. Even the numerical is easy, my approach to the numerical comes wrong. Same happens with the question. So another question, assertion and reason. Okay. So Prakash, if you are getting your numericals wrong, yeah. The first thing I would say is about times. If numerical question is taking more time, do it in the end. Because according to uh, your preparation, you are comfortable with, let's say, theoretical type questions. Then see to it that you answer all the theoretical types questions first. You want to maximize your potential. That is the aim, right? So go on and first score your marks in those sections. Now you are easy. That now your mind will be free. That okay, I've answered all the theoretical types of questions which I can, so I'm getting most marks in it. And when you are doing a numerical type of questions, do the numerical type, check it multiple times whether you have made any mistake or not. But do it only in the end. That will be the numerical type, and same happens with the assertion reason. Yes, the same thing goes for assertion reason type question as well. You devote some time only in the end, so that you have more time to think. See, it's like this. Let's say there are total 65 questions. You have answered 35 of them, which are theoretical. Now we are coming to the numerical ones. Let's say you have only 45 minutes left. Maybe you are taking 5 minutes per question. That is way above the average you should give for a question. You can give 5 minutes because your aim is to maximize the score. Give 5 minutes for every question. Do it very, very diligently, and you will get it right. You will get most of them right, not all of them. Okay, Kamya, what is the difference in difficulty level in mocks and in real exam? Well, there will be difficulty level, but what, because every time the IITs which set the questions, it will be some other IITs, right? So some of them will set questions which are more inclined towards one subject. When the other IIT does it, it will be more inclined towards some other subject. There will be some difference. There will always be a difference. I won't say they will be more difficult or less difficult, but there will always be a difference, which is very important. That it becomes more and more important that you give more and more mock exams, because beforehand you cannot judge whether the structural part will be more or paleontology part will be more. The more exams, the more mock exams you give, the more confident you become in every topic and in which topic you are comfortable with. The things that I am talking about today is, let's say you have the question and you go back home and you see that out of 100 marks I could have got, let's say 80 marks, okay, about 80 marks or 85 marks that you could have done. What I am trying to say over here is, please try to achieve the efficiency of 80%. So out of those, let's say the 80 marks that try to get 60 plus marks. If you can do that, that is good enough. Right? If you can, become very, very efficient, if you can get 90%, there is nothing like that. But if you can do that, that is also very good. You can achieve it. And if you can get near to 95, that is absolutely best. So if you are, every time the question will be there, it's not that you will know all the answers. Even if you go home, you can do only, let's say, maximum 95%. There will always some portion which you will not be able to do. Trust me on that. Don't be fixated on that. Whatever you know, in that you should be efficient. Okay, Pallavi Tripathi sir, I think when I do aptitude, I do it right, but the answer comes wrong. Pallavi Tripathi, what do I do? And okay, so for that too, see, everybody has different aptitude for different type of questions. Pallavi, right? So if you're not getting it right, don't give more than the aptitude question is for I guess first portion is 5 marks and another portion is, so whatever is the marks distribution, you have the time limit according to that. Don't give more time to that. That is what my take is, and that is the efficiency part. For the knowledge part, I would say the more you practice for aptitudes, you will get it right. You'll get most of them right the more you practice. So your answer is that you have to practice more for aptitude. That is what I would say. But even if you don't know the aptitude, don't let that hamper the other part. Prakash Tiwari has a question. Sir, there are some question categories to 90 to 50% intelligent guess and elimination method can be beneficial here. Out of 4 options, I am well aware about 3, but about the last one I am clueless. Would it be wise to leave the question? It depends. Prakash, it depends. I would say just assess yourself according to this scorecard. Assess yourself. Okay, and in that assessment, if you find out that for 50% intelligent, 90 to 50% intelligent guess, you are able to score, I would say go for it. If you are not able to score, leave it. There's no benefit in answering the questions and getting it wrong. So if you're getting like in your assessment, like for example, I have 2 questions over here which are 90 to 50% intelligent guess. So let's say you do some 10 questions like that, and you assess yourself in those 10 questions, of all the 10 questions of intelligent guesses. If you are getting above 0 marks, you're not doing negative. If you're getting some positive marks, it can be 3 or 5, whatever. You can get some wrong, some right. But if you're getting some right, if you're getting most of them right and your score is positive, yeah, you should go for them. I would say you should go for them if the score is positive. If the score is negative, well, you should not go for them. Ishita sir, it's just the opposite for me. My numerical and aptitude is strong, but the factual questions are wrong. How can I improve my efficiency in them as they are more in numbers, so I can't leave it? So I have time with me. Also, I have time here. For that, you have to apply this thing, whether you are whether how sure about the question. If you are not very sure, and if you are still getting it, if you are not very sure, but you have time, but if you answer it and you get it wrong, and if you have negative marks piles on, it's not going to do any good to you, Ishita. So it will be best if you leave them, don't answer. Okay. If you find that if you are getting more negative marks, and see, whatever I am talking about, this is just about efficiency. There is no substitute to knowledge. Okay, so knowledge, you have to always work on that, conceptual things. Okay. Okay. So if I apply my score is knowledge into efficiency thing over here, so you got 5.66 score. So how many questions did you know? If you were given more time, you knew 80% of the question, right? 10 question you could have done, you did not do because you could not complete it in time. So your knowledge is 80%. If you calculate the efficiency, out of those 8, you got 5.6, efficiency is 71%. Now, obviously, you should work hard on increasing your knowledge. Like Ishita, you said that you're not getting the theoretical things right. If you can improve your knowledge, that is the best thing for you. But aside from knowledge, you should go for efficiency as well. Right. And my take is that always try to get at least 6 or 7 marks in this question. That should be a aim. At least 6 or 7. If you're getting more, very good. At least 6 or 7 you should try to. Okay. So your score is 57% over here. Now let's see what can be the reasons for getting low score. Okay, the first thing is I do not know how to solve the question. Either lack the uh, mathematical aptitude or you don't know the facts. That can be the first thing. Second thing is that you tried solving the question but you got it wrong. And the third is I could have solved the question if I had more time. I think these are the only 3 categories of reasons for getting low score. Am I right? Punya Chartagiri. Yes, I answered that as well. But for this question, these are the only 3 reasons that I can think of getting low score. Is there any reason that anybody can think of getting low score, which do not fall in this category? Hello, am I audible? So I'm asking, is there any other reason that you can think of where the reason for getting low score, or does it fall only in these 3 categories? So Deepak is saying only this category. Okay. So yeah, these are the only 3 categories that I can think of, and I think most of you would agree that either you do not have sufficient knowledge for that question, or you just tried solving it and you got it wrong, or you had some time but you could solve the question but you didn't have sufficient time. So every one of them is a different reason and there is a different way to go about it. So for first thing, you should not know the question, you should develop more knowledge, develop the concepts. Second, if you try solving it but you are getting it right, then you should evaluate your risks, take calculated risks. You may think that you are 90 to 100% accurate in taking risk, but if you answer the questions in the way I told you, you will understand that what I was thinking as 90 to 100% risk is actually 50 to 90%, or worse, 10 to 50%. So you have to assess yourself that the questions that I'm trying to answer. The ideal situation would be that you are 40% sure about some questions, and for all the questions that you are 40% sure, you are getting only 4 of them. Let's say you're attempting 100 such questions and you are getting only 40 or 42 of those questions right. So that would be the correct assessment of your risks, and that you can only do if you practice, if you give the mock exams, if you practice the way I told you. Okay. The third reason is I could have solved the questions if I had more time. Well, then you have to just manage time. Well, actually, managing time is a misnomer. You cannot manage time; it flows. You have to manage yourself. Okay. So these are the only 3 reasons that I can think of that you have to do. So I think you're going to give your exams very soon. So the 2 things that you can focus is improve your knowledge and improve your efficiency. That is the way to go about. Okay. Prakash Tiwari is saying, sir, today is 30th January. We have 8 days for this. And what should we do in this last few days? Is revision or solution? Previous question along with more. I would say, see, uh, 8 days is it's not much of a time to develop your knowledge. So I would say develop your efficiency, improve your efficiency. Give as many mock tests. People don't give mock tests, don't see it as very important. But I would say just give mock test, assess yourself where you are doing mistakes, which questions I should leave, which questions I should attempt, and try to solve as many questions as you can, be it previous year questions or mock examination, anything that you can get your hands on. But the mock test that Geology Concepts is providing you, they are also quite good. Okay, and I would say give all those mock examinations. Okay, get as efficient as you can. My a good, according to my inferences, a good score would be 60 plus. So if you're going for a 60 plus score, 80% knowledge and 80% efficiency is a good thing, is a achievable target and is a good target. Any more questions? I think I've answered most of your questions, and this will help you immensely. You have 8 days remaining, 7 days remaining for your exam. Just practice as much as you can. The more you practice, the more you will know yourself, and you will be able to take calculated risks. You will be able to manage time better in your GATE examination. With that, I would say, yeah. So good luck to all of you. Sonai Roy, how could we improve efficiency? Well, give yourself more time for practice, and calculate your risks, and improve your time management skills. Yeah. And I hope that all of you get good marks. Yeah, you have practiced. You have all put in so much of hard work. So in this last 7 days, you put as much hard work as you can. Do it smartly. Assess yourself at regular time where you are doing mistakes. Yeah, and I hope uh, all the best to all of you.